Yo, what is going on, guys? John Shea here, and today I'm actually going to be talking about a electric bike that I picked up last summer. I hadn't made a video on this yet, so I wanted to throw this together for you guys. I know this doesn't directly relate to entrepreneurship, but something that is really good for, just going out and doing something and, getting outside once in a while. I wanted to make an actual video for, so thought I'd mix up the channel a little bit. If you guys are new here, don't forget to throw me a thumbs up, and if you go ahead and actually comment on the video, I will come back and actually reply to your comments. So yeah, let me flip over the camera, and I'm just gonna kind of talk about the bike here in this video. This is pretty cool. If you guys are familiar with Indiegogo, the sort of Kickstarter, similar, crowdfunding campaign site, whatever you want to call it, pretty big now. They did a campaign for this bike, I think it was in September 2016, I want to say is when it started. And this particular bike actually raised over $7.5 million. I waited almost nearly an entire year to get the bike, and wanted to kind of go through it, show you guys some of the functionality, what it's all about. And they are actually running a campaign for a newer version of this bike going on right now. I'll leave a link below and you guys can check that out. Now would definitely be a good time to get on these bikes if you're interested in getting one, because they're going to be jacked way up in price after this new campaign ends. But this is the original Mate. They had 3 different versions of this bike. So they had the Mate City, the Mate City Plus, and then they had, I forget what they called the third model, but that was basically the highest end model. So I have the Plus model, which is the mid-range. Basically it comes with a bigger battery. The whole battery fits alongside this entire chassis here. Pretty much from about here to about here is the entire battery. I'm not gonna take the thing out, but yeah, this thing, in terms of electric bikes, was probably one of the most stylish that I saw. It had kind of like, bring me back to the memories of being a kid. It wasn't a mountain bike, something simple, it was small. I didn't, plan on using it for anything crazy, so wanted to kind of show you guys some of the functionality. Let's kind of just go through it, I guess. So the first thing is they have this little LCD display here, and you can set this either up or down. You can actually change the functionality of how much assist you're getting. So right now it's set to 5. If I go down, I can set this to 0, which is essentially like now I'm riding a regular bike and there's absolutely no motor assist. The higher I go, the less I have to pedal and the motor will actually kick in. You've also got a built-in USB here, so if you want to charge a phone, something like that, that'll actually run right off the battery. It's got a 7-speed Shimano gear sets here, and here's actually where you can change the gear, or this will basically go down a gear, this will go up a gear, and you got your brakes. One of the brakes on me actually squeals a little bit, so I gotta get some put some like oil on it or something. I don't know why it's still so bad. I've had the bike for a while. It's fairly adjustable, like you can raise up the handlebars here. There's like a notch for this. You can also collapse this, so I'll do this now. If I trying to do this with one hand here, you can actually collapse this, so it makes it easy to fold this thing, so it's not gonna be cramming if you throw it in the car. And this clips in, it's very reliable, haven't had any problems. When I got the bike shipped as well, I believe it was the front tire was not on, so this is where this is all assembled. The brakes are like really nice. They got like these almost like, if you're a car guy, they're like little like slotted rotor brakes. It's kind of cool. The pedals turn in so you can save a little bit more space. This turns in here. And you've also got the ability to fold the bike in half. So this will actually come out, and while this is out, this will bend at this hinge right here. I'll just come around, and the bike pretty much just folds right in half. So my wife's is inside folded. Maybe I'll show that here when we conclude this, but you can also adjust the seat here. One of the problems I had was when I got the bike shipped to me, there was a piece here that this part is supposed to like clamp in, and basically there was a little bit of etching that's supposed to be in the actual frame to allow this to clamp and move this bike seat up and down, and that actually was not there. So I had to take it to a bike shop. It was a small fix. I think I paid them like 20 bucks or something, and they did that. But yeah, the thing's pretty rugged. I have had no issues with the bike. It moves pretty quick with this particular motor. If you're pedaling like full speed, you're in 7th gear, and on like the highest assist, you could probably get it up to roughly about 20 miles an hour. Now, the only modifications that I've made is I added this little bag here, which is kind of cool. You know, I tried to match it as best I could, but this is nice because you can hold the key. There's actually, just like a car, you have an basically a little ignition where the key goes in a hole under here, which goes into the battery, and that's how you actually activate the electric motor. So pretty sweet. I'm gonna close that up. And I can also fit like a water bottle in here. It fits perfectly if you want to throw your ID cards in here. I got this thing off Amazon, so I'll see if I can find a link to that, and I'll leave it in the description. If you guys ever decide you want to get an accessory like that, it works out pretty well. My wife actually put an alarm on hers, and I believe she even has a light as well, so if we were riding at night, you could like have a light to see. I know when they were going through the campaign, one of the things that they did as well was they actually upgraded the wires that came with the bike. So this was originally going to be like some sort of a tangled mess, so to speak, and they were able to get this to be like an adapter, so these can actually unplug and you could add other things to the bike, I believe. The biggest model also has one of the coolest modifications of this line is you can get a throttle assist, so you can actually use a throttle while you're riding and you literally don't have to pedal at all. So a couple friends of ours picked up that same model, so they have 2 of those, and they'll be riding around going like 25 miles an hour, and they don't even have to pedal at all. So it's pretty sweet. I'm really excited about the new Mate X that's coming out. It's going to have bigger tires. It's going to have, I believe, some other upgrades, like they have a newer LCD display here. It's almost like a little tablet that'll be right in the center. It's got color, basically all these little things that they're upgrading. The only other thing that I changed on this particular version was the seat. I actually upgraded. The original seat that came with it was not comfortable at all, so I went out and bought this one. Bike seats aren't exactly the most comfortable thing in the world as is, but this thing was, I don't know, I think like 50 or 60 bucks. But yeah, otherwise this bike has been great. They're super easy. You can see I've got a Volkswagen GTI, and I can actually fit 2 of these. If we fold the back seats down, we can fit one of them kind of across the seats and another one back here, and I've got a subwoofer back there. So even in the smallest of cars, you're able to take 2 of these things. It's so funny. We'll go to one of the bike trails and we'll get there, and these people will see us like ride our bikes up to leave, and we've got our car, there's no bike rack on the back, and they watch us like fold them in half, and they're just like, what the hell? So it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I thought I'd you know, let me flip this back. I thought I would shoot a video for you guys. You know, I hadn't done something here on the Mate bike, and I'm pretty pumped about it. I'd say for any of you, you know, maybe doing research on it, you know, there was a lot of hassle. I know some people had issues when they were trying to get these bikes, but I ended up getting mine, and yeah, I was just as patient as I possibly could, and because of that, I think it was all worth the wait. I read other stories of people having bigger issues with theirs, but haven't really had any major problems. I picked up a bike pump off Amazon as well. That was like 20 bucks, and other than that, haven't really had to do anything except charge it and go. The other thing I thought I'd mention too is it tracks how many miles you've gone, and I've put about 150 miles on the bike, which isn't a ton, but you know, a good amount to know that, you know, this thing is pretty solid. And I think if you guys are at all thinking about the Mate X, that would be a good one to go with. But yeah, I wanted to mention, you know, for my entrepreneur friends, you guys still listening, I'm gonna throw in a link as well in the description for one of my programs to check out, an ebook I put together called The 7 Steps to Starting and Growing Your Own SEO Consulting Business. The money that I earned from following what I teach in this particular ebook is actually allowed me to go out and buy nice little cool tools like this, or toys, so to speak. Kind of messing up my words here today. But buying toys like this, you know, we spent, I think it was 1,600 bucks to get these 2 bikes as a package for me and my wife, and I just spent another 2,000 to go and get the Mate X. So we're gonna have almost $4,000 in bikes. If we ever have friends over and stuff, they can come check out, you know, come ride with us. And if we ever have our friends with us, we'll literally have like 6 of these things riding around. So I'm pretty pumped about it. But yeah, check out that link below. And if you have any questions for me, reach out, leave a comment. And thanks again for subscribing and checking out my channel.